When we left off yesterday, Ben's bike would not start. Our suspicion was water in the fuel. Once the battery began to get low, we tried pushing and towing to attempt a compression start, but to no avail. At around 10 a.m., we made a deal with the workers at the nearby airport, and with the weather closing in, we left Ben's bike and most of our gear behind, and took inspiration from a famous literary work. You'll notice that there's no video showing us riding 2 up. That was the only solution at this point. The difficult riding in these conditions restricted our abilities. Additionally, 2 men on a motorcycle would look a little silly. The trick now was going to be to get from our current location, about 200 miles north of the Arctic Circle, to Prudhoe Bay on a bike that was getting to the point of being overloaded. 296 cc's has done fantastic for us so far, but carrying about 100 to 150 pounds of gear each plus our weight was difficult enough. We weren't sure just how well these bikes were going to perform in the sloppy road conditions we had ahead of us. With approximately 3 to 4 hours of riding in regular conditions, this was not going to be an easy trick.
Well, this isn't bad at all.
The last 50 miles or so of the road was really in good condition, and we were very happy to see that. But our joy of the road turned south when we pulled into Deadhorse Camp and saw what might or might not have been a hotel. And you have to remember that Deadhorse Camp is it's a working area. It's not really set up for tourists. The buildings are all portable and up off the ground and pretty industrial looking, but they do have rooms available for the crazy people that want to come up there and see the end of the road.
Well, there it is. That is the end of the road. The farthest you can go north of Prudhoe Bay. Alright, Ben and I are at the Arctic Ocean, all the way out to Prudhoe Bay. On the count of 3, we're going to jump into the ocean and go swim. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's as much as we're getting it. Alright, we are at Deadhorse Camp, and the company is called Deadhorse Hauling, because they would haul anything, anywhere, including a dead horse. That was their motto. The airport got its name, and the town itself got its name. There are between 8,000 and 9,000 workers here during the high season, which is not now. The winter season is when they're busy, because the oil rigs, the drilling platforms, can only be moved when the ground is thoroughly frozen. There's also around 8,000 wells in the area right now, just in this area. There are only a handful of wells offshore, because it's very, very difficult, very expensive to drill offshore here, for one thing. And the sea ice, which only broke up a few weeks ago here, have a tendency to crush any equipment you have out there. Because of slant drilling, they've now been able to drill from shore up to 5 miles out
to reach these oil reservoirs that are under the ocean. Another thing I did not realize is the oil coming out of the ground is under a great deal of pressure.
It was surprising how much wildlife was in the area, so close to what was essentially a small industrial city. The following morning, we headed south, having procured a bottle of heat fuel treatment. The weather was good, but the road conditions were still a challenge. In a light rain, on solid gravel, we might reach 60 miles per hour, but never take your eyes off the road, not even for a second. One little section of deep gravel could be disastrous, and we came very close to going down several times. The worst condition was caused by the grader. After making a pass on the road, there would be a fresh layer of loose dirt, 1 to 2 inches deep. Constant treatment with calcium chloride made it pretty slippery, but if you added rain to the mix, well, there were a number of abandoned vehicles and even a bicycle on the sides of the road. Several of those vehicles had for sale signs, for sale as is, in their windows, even one that was upside down.
Thank you.
Upon reaching Galbraith Lake, we were eventually able to get Ben's bike running and made our way back to Coldfoot, where dinner, breakfast, and a room for the night cost us about $350. Just ate our breakfast at Coldfoot Camp. Gonna walk over and show you our room, our accommodations. It's about 9 by 14 or 15. 2 twin beds. Your electrical outlets are up there on the wall with no place to put your stuff. There's not a whole lot of space in here, but it's enough. And your bathroom has a shower stall, straight from an RV, and a toilet. I mean, what more do you need? After that, we drove back to Fairbanks without further incident. Well, I did find time to do a little fishing.
Alright, I gotta hit this.
Alright, here's what the bikes look like after going up to Prudhoe Bay and back to Fairbanks.
One thing you can never forget is to continue to maintain your bike. You have to oil the chain, keep all the fluid levels up, and you have to wash that thick coating of calcium chloride that just kind of clings to the bike.